Hi everyone, welcome to another brand new episode of the Outlier Podcast. I have Rob Hoyle with me. Hi Rob, how are you doing?
Hello, it's nice to be here.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you for taking your time out to chat with us today. It's been a fun. We met Rob on LinkedIn. We reached out to Rob that probably want to be a part of this, and then we met at GAC. So it was quite a fun. And then he has agreed finally to spend half an hour with us to talk about his journey. Right, a very interesting one. Someone who spent like almost 15 years outside the credit union ecosystem and now living by the principles of help or people helping people actually doing what's required. So that's amazing. So I'll do a quick introduction about who Rob is. Rob is the CIO of Vantage West Credit Union. He has spent a considerable amount of years with Credit Union of America before joining Vantage West. As a whole, he's been a CIO since forever. I would say around 2008, Rob, if I'm not wrong, right? Almost 2008, he's been a CIO. Prior to credit unions, he has spent almost 15 years in healthcare. So he brings a very fresh perspective to the credit union ecosystem, obviously, because of his exposure towards other industries, and that's pretty much about Rob. Rob, I mean, I was not able to cover the illustrious career of yours very well, but I tried to do some bit of justice. If you think if you want to add something, why don't you go and add something?
No. I think you did a great job. I've worked in a few different verticals and am fortunate to bring a variety of experience to where I am now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Sounds good. So, Rob, let's start the podcast with one customary question that I ask almost everyone. Uh, Now, you are a CIO of a relatively larger credit union, right? And there's a lot of moving parts always, right? Compliance, regulation, growth, technology advancements, a lot of them. Uh, I want to ask you one question. So, what keeps you going?
My team. I'm in this for the team. I love the people I work with that report up to me and also that report into other areas of the credit union. We are doing great things. Everybody is dedicated and motivated by our core values, and it's fun. I enjoy sincerely and literally getting up and sitting down and doing things with this team. So that's it's easy to keep going when you have such a great group of people and they're all kind of going in the same direction.
Sounds good, Rob. That sums up. So, I know that you're the CIO, but what's your current role? What are the different charters that you have at Vantage West? What do you do at Vantage West?
So right now, I am overseeing our technology group, which includes our decision intelligence, application development, nuts and bolts, systems and networks, help desk, etc. I'm also overseeing our information security team, which is led by Jim Jenkins, a great CISO, and also our project management organization, operational excellence, trying to improve the way we do things. I've just recently handed digital over to our chief lending officer. Our organization, our CEO likes to shuffle responsibilities around so we can better grow the business and better understand the different parts of it. And something a little unique, later this year, due to a retirement, I will be taking accountability for human resources.
Wow. So, isn't that a lot of work? I mean, being a CIO, you will be a CHRO of
I
the organization. It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what the title will end up being. I will be doing both. There are capable and competent people working underneath me that are doing the real work. I provide, maybe a light touch guidance and vision and get everybody kind of on the same page. And it's a lot of work, but again, I enjoy it. So it doesn't feel like a lot of work.
That's the most
I'm pretty
important.
fortunate.
Absolutely. That's the most important thing. I mean, if you're enjoying what you do, that's exactly what all of us dream of doing, what we like doing, right? Absolutely. Now, we talked about a very diverse kind of role. Now, I want to ask you, why this role? Why do you do this? What keeps you excited?
I found my way into technology in some sort of a happy accident. I've always been someone who was interested in the latest and greatest. Going back as a kid, I had to have a Game Boy or what have you. I initially set out to be a golf professional. That didn't work out. I broke a computer and then fixed it. And then I realized somewhere along the lines, uh, you can really make a difference with technology. It seems to me that it's easy to deploy technology to make the world better,
Mhm.
and that matters to me. So it's sort of something I understand. I I've never been somebody who wrote code in any meaningful way, but I can talk with the developers and understand their logic and the way the code works, and it's a little bit of a natural affinity. So uh, here I am. It's just sort of I fell into this world, and it's a world that suits me.
I'm sure, Rob. I mean, you love what you do, right? Absolutely, and that dovetails into the next part of my questions. Uh, we'll talk a bit about AI and data strategy, right? I mean, AI and data has been table stakes now, so it's no longer a good to have thing, but it's like basics. You need to use the AI and data for, I mean, I would say data for decisioning, right? So, how is uh, Vantage West using data for better decisioning to improve both member experience as well as, I would say, improve operational efficiency?
So as it applies to data, we actually have a very talented team there, and we are on a journey, like most of us are. We don't have this all figured out, but we are using data for decision making. We're trying to improve our ability to be
Yep.
more relevant and more timely for our members. We
Mhm.
have a couple initiatives going around that right now to better show the members how we can serve them. Some of this is through internal data marts and decision engines that we're building. Some of this is through some of our partnerships with vendors that are very important to us. But we are working on both of those fronts to make us more efficient, make us more uh, able to make better and faster decisions internally, as well as to get the members the information they need and the right offers or the right possible products or services to suit what they need at the time when they need it. Uh, and as far as AI goes, I see that as turning it all on its head. We are deploying AI like most. We have deployed it in the contact center and in member facing communicative roles. We're working now to deploy it in staff facing communicative roles and also into that decision intelligence kind of area where it can better process data. It can maybe take away the need for this central single source of truth because it can know all the sources of truth and find the things that we're not thinking about for us. So we're building those models. We're doing some tinkering internally, and we're also working with some partners on that as well.
Sounds good. That sounds like a actual strategy, right? Uh, I'll ask you a question. I mean, a follow-up question on cyber threats. Now, cyber threats are real. Right? They're not fictitious. Having cyber threats every single day. And how do you think is a credit union ecosystem geared towards responding to threats or become more vigilant towards managing security better? So what are your 2 cents on that?
I think that those of us who haven't yet dealt with a cyber incident are fortunate that others have because it's provided um, not just our leadership, but our boards, our peers, and the NCUA with knowledge and intelligence about how it works and what preparedness looks like. We at Vantage West spend a lot of time building layers of defense, exercising the muscle of what a response looks like. We do tabletop exercises. Um, we deployed some um, non-harmful ransomware in our environment last year and had our team go find it and isolate it. So we're playing the game, if you will. We're doing simulations to ready ourselves for it. We're also building relationships not just with the regulators and with our peers, but with organizations like the FBI and CISA, so that we can be ready and kind of build that threat intel um, uh, muscle, I guess, so we can know what's going on, understand what the world looks like. It is like you said, it's super real. I have in my career dealt with 2 incidents, uh, thankfully successfully and without major disruption, but they were both painful. And I worked at a university where there was an omnipresent threat from talented students. So it's very, very real right now, and I think we're seeing more activity I just heard yesterday we're blocking 400,000 attempts on our network every month. Uh, so I think that this is a very stark reality. It's a My father, who used to ride motorcycles, once said that people who ride motorcycles either have or will lay them down on the road. I think cybersecurity practitioners either have or will deal with a real incident. At this point, it's just a matter of when and how prepared you can be, and then how resilient you are. How able you are to recover is going to be more and more important.
I think this is very important to be. And we talked about your partnerships plus your, I would say, drill, the partnerships as well as the drills that you're doing right now to be prepared that if it happens, you should be able to respond very quickly. I think that that's very important, and I think that's something which all credit unions should take a note, that just having policies on the book are not really enough now, because things have completely changed.
And I can tell you from experience that having policies and playbooks is important, but when the actual events happen, oftentimes you forget those exist because you're reacting in the moment. So practicing the reaction, having a team that's cross-functional, having marketing in the room to talk about the PR aspect of it, having operations in the room, the branch staff to know how to behave, things like that really helps. Uh, I hope we never have to actually deal with this, but every time we do one, I'm more and more comfortable. We learn more about what we should be doing,
Exactly.
and I think that's important. The thing about cybersecurity, it's like playing defense, but you don't know what sport you're playing. So are they shooting a
So,
basketball or are they shooting a hockey puck at you? And so
mm,
eventually something will catch you. And again, I go to the resiliency. It's how fast can you contain it and how fast can you get your business operational? Because that's what our members expect and need. And that's what the public wants to see is a resilient organization.
I think that's absolutely much needed, Bob, right? Because unless you do that, you're again, it's like playing in a sandbox. You're not thinking what exactly happens. And we talked about an example of marketing communication. I think that's like table stakes nowadays. I mean, unless you have that strategy in place, it's like again scrambling across after it happens. We don't know what to do, right? That's a very valuable thing that you're doing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, Absolutely. And in terms of evolution, right? So obviously, technology has seen a huge evolution. I mean, I remember 10 years back when I started my career as a data scientist. I was coding in R or in SAS. I was maybe, I mean, I learned C when I was in my engineering days. Now, I mean, people hardly talk about C. I mean, it's completely changed, right? And the ecosystem has completely changed. And these are very basic examples that I took because these are more relatable than talking about AI again, right?
Sure.
So, what do you think? I mean, do you think there'll be a major shift in technology, uh, both in credit unions and outside the credit unions? I mean, you can add your 2 cents both outside and inside. And how do you think? And what do you think? What will change in the next 5 years? I mean, will it be? I mean, obviously things are changing, but what are your 2 cents on evolution?
I think evolution is the right word. I don't think that there's a hugely disruptive technology in the next 5 years, especially for the credit union industry, which is so entrenched in legacy tools. Um, I think it was McKinsey that said that AI is not a disruptive; it's an additive technology. It's a transformative technology, and that's true. We're kind of rethinking how we can do things because now we have tools that can do them for us. It's akin to like digital transformation, meaning turning a piece of paper into a PDF. Um, but I see us evolving. I see, and this is maybe a surprise opinion, but like 1033 and the open records or open banking uh, legislation maybe pushing us more into API driven worlds
Yep.
that are still going to be back ended by legacy cores for a period of time because it's so onerous to think about changing your core to something unproven, especially. So as the other continents, specifically Europe and South America, continue to evolve the neocores, I think we're going to stay with what we have um, for a period of time until they're proven out, and then I think there's a big jumping off point when we can get into a truly modern core, uh, without a ton of risk like there is today to adopt one of the European cores.
That is like, I would say, kind of table stakes that will need to change and happen. Otherwise, innovation is still a myth, right? I mean, no offense against anyone, but that is something which has to
Yeah.
change.
Yeah, we're putting middleware in place. I think a lot of financial institutions are to kind of make these legacy cores behave
Yeah.
more like a modern core. But at the end of the day, we're still sort of saddled by that technology, and it's was architected in the 80s.
Yes, I mean, there has to be some change in legacy. I mean, uh, I remember, my university seniors, they talk about mainframes. I mean, you cannot just go away with mainframes, but you have to eventually modernize, right? Otherwise, things won't work out. But yeah, so Rob, this was really valuable, Rob. I mean, you spending this minutes with us is really valuable. Again, thank you for your time today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely.